attempted, she attempted to pick up the paper, but that was about it. And then she came twice, and then she has come back since then, and it's been almost 2 months ago.
And the city, when were they contacted? So they were contacted.
Mm-hmm.
She was ticketed this one time. Were they contacted again after that?
No, we haven't contacted her.
So they probably won't go by again after that, to be honest with you. So, Aisha, you get the address again. We'll follow up to see what we've done in terms of the inspection with EC.
Thank you.
But you gotta keep calling us to let you know.
I know.
When it's happening.
And you know, I don't mind.
I know. Yes, ma'am. Moving forward.
I got, I guess first my question regarding sidewalk issue. And I don't understand if the homeowners own the sidewalk or responsible for the sidewalk, or if it's city owned property and the city is fully responsible for the damage sidewalk.
So it depends on how it was damaged. If it was damaged by a city tree, it's the city's responsibility.
Okay.
The craziest thing though is the policy is that if it's normal erosion, that's your responsibility. Even though it's our property. Yeah. Yeah. Now we have gone through and changed some of that, right? In terms of some of the street or some of the sidewalks that have been repaired. They have nothing to do with the homeowner, and we just went out to the city and repaired them. So that's what the policy says. And that's what's slow. And you may end up getting a bill sometime, and you'll see them put a little paint on the cracks, and then they end up calling you or putting some notice on your door. So that is something that has to change. There's a policy that has to change, though. Do you have a location where that's taking place?
Right, and I worked, with your office with this issue. What the issue is, it was a vacant lot next to my house, and I was maintaining the lot, cut the grass and removing the snow. But the sidewalk was damaged by the trucks that came in to backfill the
That's a
basement.
whole different issue. That's
Yeah.
completely the contractors.
Yeah, but the lot was owned by, I didn't know who owned the lot at the time. I was taking care of it, cutting the grass and keeping it beautiful. And I bought the lot a couple of years ago. But I didn't know the address when I was maintaining it. So I filed a complaint about it 4 years ago that it was cracked and it happened when the house was torn down and they damaged the sidewalk because the truck drove across and just cracked the sidewalk. And I said, it damages my snow floor and it needs repair. And I went through that whole iteration for about 2 years, and finally I got a call and said, they're gonna do it. They did all of the sidewalks on Whitcomb. They did them on Prevost. They did them on Patton. And I thought, well, eventually instead of just coming doing this one, they'll do the whole, it'll be included in the whole block. And nothing's happened. And, of course, this was happening on Whitcomb around this time of the year. And, concrete is going to run out in October or early November. They're not going to be before concrete. So I just let it go. But nothing's happened for about 2 years. And I contacted your office about it. And we went back to
it sounds like they said they were going to do it.
land development. The land development said somebody told your office 2 years ago it's on the list and we're gonna take care of it. And I didn't say anything. And then 2 years went by and nothing happened. And I was back down to your office again within the last couple of months, saying, well, what happened? And Daniela was there telling me about it, and then she was gone. And so I'm kind of back where I started 3 years ago. I got half the physical address of it, but nothing's happened. And I'll repair it. I didn't want to repair it. I mean, but if the city's not going to do anything, if they tell me, I need it repaired, period. And it's not a big deal. I told the land development, if you're not going to do it, just tell me. But tell me that I can do it. I don't want to go out and do it. If the city owns it, then it's their responsibility. I shouldn't do it. But I want it done, and if they don't want to do it, I'll do it. But I want it done, and I want it done before the year's out.
So what I will do is, and this is my personal commitment, and if we can get you to give the address again, the location to Aisha.
Okay,
I'll talk to the folks in the mayor's office
okay,
and have them follow the chain and find out what is the issue. Because we can call the department, and it sounds like when we called initially, it was supposed to be taken care of, and so there's no problem. We need to get out of our office and get it up into their office. And so we're gonna get that information from you.
okay,
You should not have to pay for it if it was damaged by a land bank contract. Period, point blank. No matter if you own the property at one point and you did not own the property.
I didn't know that.
It doesn't matter. No, we should not have to fix it. The contractor should have to repair that. And so sounds like you have that paper trail that we can show that you made that complaint 4 years ago about that. So
Right.
we're gonna follow up, and it's not just your word versus somebody else that knows what to do it. You actually have a paper trail. We have people who say, yes, it was our fault, us being the city and the contractors, and we're gonna replace it, and it didn't happen. So we're gonna follow up. That's my commitment. We can get you that address and that location again to Aisha, I'm sorry, and we'll follow up and take it to the next step.
okay, appreciate it.
Let's go that way.
Good morning. I have a couple questions myself about the land bank. We have a couple properties that they knock down vacant buildings. And most of the time they put sand in 227. They don't put dirt. So I send a couple messages to the office. They respond within a week. But I have the pictures right here where they do they come and put the grass seed when the weed is about 5 feet high. So
One more time.
I said they come and put down the straw, no grass seed, when the weed is about probably my height.
And it's sand underneath.
Sand, pure sand. Nothing can grow there beside. All of 227, they put down sand. No dirt.
And when, correct me if I'm wrong, the sand was not supposed to be the material that they put in there. It's supposed to be clean field, correct?
Exactly.
All right, so, and it's not supposed to be any of the busted up cement that comes from the basement or any of that stuff. So that's a complete violation of the agreement that we have with the land bank.
I actually spoke with your office. I spoke with the District 1 managers.
Who did you speak to in the
I,
office?
I don't remember the name of the person, but I know they probably have it as.
Because that helps me track it.
Okay.
If you can let me know who that was, because I don't like folks not getting back to me already.
But they did get on it because they come and put down the straw like 5 days later, but no grass seed. I was in the house looking out and I said, come on. I went up there to the guy and I said, listen, I'm going to get back with these office and make sure you guys don't get paid. But they look like they get paid as far as I'm concerned. There was paid because I have the pictures right here. How high it is. I mean, when they put down the straw, but no grass. So,
And there's no way that anything will grow. Please give that information, the location to Aisha, and we'll follow up on it.
okay, thanks.
Well, first of all, I'd like to give kudos to your office for at least giving us such opportunity to know you're still working on it. Even though I pleaded, please give us an update ASAP. So we did get the email, and the concern right now is if there is any information that we have that will help Ms. King or Aisha to resolve the issue, I would appreciate it.
Which issue is that?
The blight ticket, 15 years old.
So, Edwina, you said,
Yeah, so I've been working with.
what are the information that is needed? Because I know she just asked.
No, I was saying if I had any information for Ms. King, I would appreciate it if she could tell me what she needs to keep working on the issue.
You say you've been working on what is needed for?
Yeah, so I spoke to you, we communicated via email as well. So right now, there's nothing that is needed because the city has to do its investigation. So without going into the meat publicly about it, right now, you're fine.
Just leave it.
Right, but believe if I do need information, I will definitely.
What's the what are they telling us though? Because I think that's the important piece, trying to figure out, question mark, what's up. So where are they, what's going on? And this is, you don't have to divulge any personal information, but in terms of the status of it.
Right, so right now, so currently, there was a blight hearing scheduled for, I believe it was September the 9th. Research, because the individual who drafted the ticket is no longer in the department that issued the ticket, we're still in the process of doing our research to make sure that it's a situation where it's favorable to you. So it's taken a little longer than expected, but
How long do you think it may be before somebody can free something up? 'Cause that's I guess the real question. That's my question.
so with that being said, I'll definitely follow up on Monday to see where we are, which is what was initially intended. And I'll definitely make sure you loop in.
Yeah, CC me on any emails and we'll follow through with that as well. Because sometimes they do respond to my team, my staff. We have a great relationship, but sometimes they do slow down. Because this is not to give anybody a pass and get them off the hook, but we're one district. They're getting calls from citizens. They're also getting calls from other council members, staff members. So we give them a little grace. A little grace. Especially if we've reached out and they should be giving us some information. So we're going to follow up. And like I said, please CC me on those communications.
I made it, so, okay, so, I have a situation, it's a little complicated, so, since it's a public forum, I am gonna try to make the long story short for you. 6 years ago, I bought a home from the city through neighborhood stabilization. There were some serious contractor issues, serious. Electricity being run outside the walls, exterior walls caving in, things like that. So I've been fighting with the city for 6 years. Last year, I finally got, not Jermaine, his boss, Donald Rencher, to agree to do a warranty repair on my home for the exterior wall that's caving inside my home at this point. It's been like that for 6 years, so now it's affecting the basement, it's a bunch of stuff. So anyhow, long story short, I finally got the city to agree to a warranty repair, to repair the bathroom. I was awarded a small contract that wouldn't be enough to do the work that needed to be done, so I went back and spoke with Jermaine. He increased the contract. My issue now is the contractor that they supplied to do the work. The contractors they originally worked with have done way below subpar work. I asked the city to allow me access to their list of contractors so that we can choose a contractor together or have the contractors bid on the job, and for me to be allowed to, pick some of the material and stuff like that. So no. Well, no, it's not that. He's not a inspector. He originally approved electricity being run outside my walls, dispelling. I live right across the street from Summer. The failing, caving in, and the contractors were awarded $100,000. They wouldn't put up a fence. They wouldn't properly paint. The kitchen floor it's a bunch of stuff I've been fighting for a while. And like I said, I've spoken with, and I have the documents in my bifold. I've spoken with everybody in planning and development. My issue now is they feel like I don't have a say so in anything that goes on with this warranty repair. I don't have access to the budget, you know, what's being purchased and things like that, or what's going into my home, which I feel like is unfair.
Is this an indie home?
No,
No.
neighborhood stabilization.
Neighborhood single
Uh-huh. Right.
Okay.
Now, they've brought contractors to my house where, you know, I try to talk to the lady, ask her, you know, are we gonna replace the windows since the whole wall, don't talk, you don't need to talk to her, and, you know, stuff like that. It's a real weird situation, and I really do need some help. I have some health issues, I'd rather not say now, but there are issues going on in the bathroom with mold and mildew and
You said it, man. I mean, so I get it. We're gonna follow up because this. You talked to Jermaine, you talked to Don. They're familiar. I'll make a call to them once we wrap up and get out of here from this one. But make sure you leave information with Aisha.
What they did, they gave her like 30, was it $2,500? It was $2,500 the job supposed to be able to be fixed. All of a sudden, they upped it. Well, she been fighting since last year. They decided it wasn't enough, but they ended up giving her close to $10,000, and she's still not able to get this job done, especially with this contract.
and I have a contract in here. So originally last year when they gave me the $2,500, I knew it wasn't enough to do the bathroom. I offered to pay myself for the floor, the toilet, the sink, whatever they weren't going to pay for. The whole bathroom needed to be demolished. So they said, okay, we'll accept, you know, you paying for the floor and other stuff like that, just that and third. The contractor never shows up for 8 months. I'm waiting. And so at this point, I don't want to do business with her. Either she doesn't want to do the job or she's not able to do the job.
That should get paid.
So my deal basically says I don't have a choice on who works in my home. I don't have a choice on the tile, the toilet, the floor. And if the budget increased $7,000, then why can't I get better something? Why is all that money when she's doing the same work? And she was only charging me $750, and now you're charging the city $7,000. And they say, well, you can only get a $200 vanity, and that's crazy. Not only are you not complying with the contract or the warranty repair, but you just basically giving the contractor money for nothing. She don't even show up. She won't call me. If I call her and try to talk to her, well, I need to talk to Mike Neal. Mike Neal is not a program director. He's not an inspector. I don't even know who he is.
Have we dealt with Mike Neal before? Okay. I don't know mine. So before you leave, give your information to Aisha. We'll follow up. That way I can call directly, talk to Don and Jermaine, and figure out what's going on and how they can contact you back. We don't know if we'll have the way we want it to be resolved immediately, but it should be moved forward because that's crazy. And if you've been waiting this long, based upon what you said,
I have the documents.
no, I'm not denying it, but I'm just always have to say that for the record. Based on what you said, if all that is true, then that individual shouldn't be a contractor with the city planning, not just your home, but shouldn't even be working with us. They should be sent out.
I asked Jermaine, I said, so thank you, first of all, because Jermaine did work with me on helping increase the budget. Now, when I went to Jermaine and said, I don't want her working in my home, that's when they just kind of was like, well, that's, it's either her or nobody.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Good morning, Councilman. I heard you said something about telling this young man that if they put a circle around it, that it was a circle around the tree, that it was the owner's responsibility.
No, on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk, right.
Yeah.
This has been on Stout Street, and the young man, well, he's a senior citizen, and he has a disabled daughter where she's required to be in a wheelchair, and you have to have wheelchair accessibility. this has been like this for 6 years. 6 years. He had called, he had complained. He came to me last week, he said, and his study sinking in and the kids were playing and one of the kids fell in this. This is on Stout Street. For 6 years, and I've been monitoring it even before it became Princess Deli. I don't know what the status is. I don't know why it's like this, and I don't know why they won't fix it. But it is dangerous, and it's study caving in. Then there's the tree right in front of here that they said they would not come fix. Every time you drive down the street, there's a storm. You're guaranteed to get a branch knocked down on your car when you drive down the street. Then there's bird poop. You're guaranteed to get pooped on by a bird when you're walking down the sidewalk because it's the city's tree. You're guaranteed, like I said, you walk down the street, you will get pooped on. There's bird nests all in the tree. The tree branches is coming down. I don't know what else to do. What else to tell my senior citizens that's on my street because we fed up with it.
Well, I know you came here and you brought it to us, so now we're going to follow up on it. The tree, the bird poop, I'm not sure we can do it.
It's the city's tree, and I even asked the neighbors. One of my neighbors said, if you pay to get my blade sharpened on my saw, we can come together and get the tree trimmed down. I agreed to give him the $75 to go get the blade sharpened so we can do it ourselves. But I was told that it is the city's tree. So should we do that?
So I can never tell you to violate.
Okay.
Right?
So what to do?
But what I will tell you is it's the city's responsibility. And so what we're gonna follow up is we did increase the budget for tree trimming around the city. I don't know if the timing is right at this moment. I was told that it's better to do it in the fall if you're trimming trees, especially some of those larger trees, so it doesn't create rot or whatever. I'm not a arborist. This is in the first part of this year. I didn't finish. Hey. So we're gonna work on that with the Department of Public Works. And then the street issue, that's definitely a city street. That's not a county road. They have not. They have not. So this is not time hearing about it. So we're gonna follow up on that and get that information, please, and the photo if you can transfer to us as well via email. But that information is very helpful. Make sure you get that information to Aisha, the address of the tree, as well as the location of that sinkhole.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll take it.
He told me I followed instructions.
We're gonna first check over here, see if we're gonna cycle through this side. We went through the side first. So anybody over here? Hello, you have a question? You have to.
I have a statement. I saw you in Washington. I'm Pat Mullen, and I work at Wayne State University Institute of Gerontology. And I do the SAFE program. I come out to the community, and we don't charge anything. It's to prevent scam and identity theft. So I do a seminar, and it's totally free. If anybody has actually been a victim of a scam or identity theft, we help you out with that. It's no charge to that, and we also help the caregivers. And like I said, all I need really is 10 people to come out. I go to block clubs, churches, activity centers, senior citizens.
You don't want to just drive by that. Talk to us a little bit about the program.
You want me to go through my whole spiel that you know I have?
We're here. That's why we come together to share information. It's not just, so Aaron, when he says the man you come to see, I always tell him, no, don't come to see me. We come here to do this. So
Okay,
that's very
safe.
important information.
Success after financial exploitation is to help victims recover financial footing after being a victim of a scam or identity theft. It is over $40 billion taken by telemarketers yearly by senior citizens. And this is an interactive seminar that I do, so I get a lot of information. People tell me about different things that's happened, like anybody heard about that limousine that drove up that had Publishers Warehouse on it and took the lady to the bank and she took out $14,000 and gave it to him? Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Now, Publishers Warehouse supposed to give you.
Right, but she didn't know. And then they attempted to do it again. I just heard this yesterday. They attempted to do it again in a police car. Okay. In like Bloomfield Hills. Yeah. It's on the internet. Yeah. It's on the internet. But telemarketers, okay, everybody get these phone calls? Right. If you don't know the number, don't answer it. And if they ask you, is this your name? And don't say yes. You could be signing the contract. Okay? There's so many things. The gas pump. Do you guys use the gas pump on the outside? No. Anybody that does, there's a camera, put your hand over there because they can be taking a picture. When you put that little card in there, you can get your number taken off. And where right around here where you put your numbers in, do it like this because they got something on top of that. ATM machines, same way. You got to do, that's the ATM machine. The gas pump, though, you just put on that thing. My boss, her name is Latoya Hall. She actually was pumping gas in Detroit, and somebody was pumping some in New York. And they called her. And they stopped that one. But she heard on the news that somebody actually had a truck, and they had this big thing on it, and they put a hole in it, and that's how they were getting the gas. I was victim almost, but this is another thing. I'm driving and I had my cell phone, it beeped, and what did I do? I didn't do anything. It said Comerica, that's what I went at, and it said fraud alert. I said, Then it said this is my number. Then it said opt out. I didn't do anything because we suggest that you don't. I went to Comerica, they said, Ms. Mullen, they didn't take $15.50. They took $55. They took $44.96. This is in Melville, and I'm in Detroit. And I never used that card. Okay, so we're asking you not to do that. If you don't know the number, if you don't know the person that's calling you, don't even answer it. You look on your own credit card, you use that, okay? So there's so many things. You know why they're doing this to us? We're trusting them for life. We grew up in a different age, right? A different age group. We're vulnerable. Some of us have a loss of a loved one, a dog, a cat, a friend, and they then tend to do different things to you, like the romance scam. So we warn you about that. Yeah, the romance scam.
Well, explain that. You have to explain it now.
The romance scam. Okay, senior citizens, we are out and about, or we live in a senior citizen home, which at one time I did. And somebody might tend to become a little more friendly with you. And that could lead you to emptying your pocket, okay? Obituary scam. We got our name, our spouse's name, our children's name, our grandparents' name, everybody's name, what time we're going to be at that funeral, and we get robbed, okay? Other thing, your name is on there, or like I just lost my mom, her name is on there. Hey, Charles, your wife told me that you like some pineapple upside down cake. I got one for you. That's the start of a romance scam, right? So you gotta watch everything, everything. How many of you guys have started your account, SSA.gov? Anybody? One. Know why? Because they can reroute your check. Right. We have actually worked with people that their check was rerouted somewhere else. Okay? Then Ms. Hall did it. After that, a year later, guess what? Whatever that is. Where did I get my check from? Social Security. I was so glad when I started. But then they said, well, you got 2 checks that month. You got to pay us back. She said, So she will work with you with everything. With everything. You hear me, right? And there's no charge. Wayne State University, Institute of Gerontology. My number, if anybody got an ink pen, is 313-664-2611.
Say it one more time.
Okay, 313 Pat Mullen, Mullin. It's 313-664-2611. And like I said, I'm going to a church tonight. I'm only supposed to work 20 hours a week, but I feel this is a need, so I'm out here everywhere. IRS impersonation. I know you all get those calls, right? Don't even answer. One senior told me, someone called me, they knew my name, they knew my social security, they knew my date of birth, and then they said, is all this right? And she said yes. Okay, so don't say yes. Don't answer the phone. If you didn't buy a lottery ticket or buy something, you didn't win.
What about the online? Because sometimes you be online and type and all of a sudden something pop up and says, you won
No, don't
or
even.
survey, and then underneath you have comments and people say, yes, it's been so awesome. I've received $500 free. Just hit the link.
No.
It's so easy.
No, don't do it.
Don't do those things.
Don't do it. Don't do anything like that. I did Capital One. I spelled ONE. Then I hit the same thing. My computer went black, and I just unplugged it. Okay, that's the main thing. If somebody sees a number and say call it, don't call it. Go to a reputable company that can fix it. Okay. Medicare impersonation. You know, when they calling you about the braces and stuff, you call them. You don't supposed to give out your numbers and stuff. Identity theft. A thief obtains goods, property, credit, utility service, employment, government documents by assuming the identity of another person or using personal information of another person. Medical cards. Check your all your receipts or whatever. Scan over it. Make sure that you actually did those exams. I was a nuclear med tech. I used to work in the hospital 25 years. Okay, so meaning that I check all that. Check your annual credit-report.com yearly. So I'm going over a lot of information.
So on that note, you know, if people do want to check their credit report online, I'm sure this is a potential another opportunity to scam folks.
Annual credit-report.com.
Is that the only place you should check?
I don't know about the free. This is the only one we suggest. Annual credit-report.com. That's the one we suggest.
And that's not free? That's
free.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If you get all of them, we suggest that you do it like one every 3 or 4 months instead of all of them together. I do it too. What do you need? What's the 4 things you need to mess up your credit or get into your credit? 1, social security number. Birth date. Name. What more? One more. One more. My mother's maiden name. Yep, lots of good information. I'm Pat Mullen, and thank you.
That was great. Now what's the name of the organization here? One more time, because you gave us some good stuff today. And it looks like you have some handouts too, right?
I'm always ready. Wayne State University Institute of Gerontology. I'm on the advisory board for Healthier Black Elders also. I'm going to be honest, I'm always honest with this. I joined them when I was 48 because I thought seniors were cute. Okay? And I'm 65, I turned 65 last month. So, yeah, we're still cute. So I'm on that, and I'm also on the advisory board with Wayne State and U of M. And we do different research projects, and I'm trying to get us to come and join some of the research because we can be compensated, and we want to help stop dementia and Alzheimer's. Oh, one more thing I'm gonna put this plug into. I'm a cancer survivor of 12 years. I went through a program called BCCCP. Yes, totally free. So it was for low income. So if you know anyone that needs that, it's a 1-800 number, and you just call them. They do a cervical exam and breast exam, and they took me from mastectomy all the way to chemo. Okay, thanks.
Great information. You need everything. in DC, and that's where I met my mother. Alright, so always I want you to know when we come back with stuff. You don't just go out and DC just party and hang out. We come back with stuff as well. So thank you so much.
Dope.
Hi, my name is Doug Russell. I'm with Detroit Blockworks. You'll see a flyer coming down. We're having a community meeting right here tomorrow, just back in the studio. And what we're going to be talking about is what it means to make it easier to move through this neighborhood if you're not driving your car. And that can mean a lot of different things: walking, biking, taking the bus, using a mobility aid, any of those sort of things. And we have a little bit of a budget from the city. There's a few things we definitely can't do, like there's not enough money to put in a lot of new sidewalks or like resurface the roads, but there's a ton we can do. The route could go up and down a major street like Lasser, or it could go through the neighborhood, and all of those decisions are still open. So if you come through tomorrow and that's something you care about, we want to hear your voice. If you're in this neighborhood, come talk about the exact shape of this project. If you're not in this neighborhood, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, right in the studio in the back.
This is, when we say right in the studio for folks who are watching, this is at Artist Village, aka Motor City Drive.
These are extra. I'll come grab those.
Anyone else on this side? Oh.
I am Sandy from Sid.
They say you can say here.
They've resurfaced Berg Road, and they're working on it again today. When I left, I'm not sure what they're doing. But since it's been nice and smooth, we are really getting some low-slung sports cars and motorcycles flying down Berg Road. I mean, people have always driven fast, but now they're really on it because it's smooth, there are no holes. So we're hoping that the next phase is kicking in. Do you know anything about that?
In terms of the pavement?
Yes, and the speed things they were said they would put in.
We'll follow up on that.
Thank you. And as he talked about safe things, the guy at the meeting tomorrow, I would like to go on record that we needed the sidewalk stops in front of Jeff and Joni, my house, and then at Jeff and Joni's driveway. And school children walk that road.
That's where the
School children walk that road, and please, I don't know who, I've been a little out of circulation, as you can see, that they need a sidewalk, the children who walk across 7 Mile to 2 schools, the junior high and the elementary school. I'm very concerned about their safety.
I know that was something that was planned.
Yeah, okay.
But it's still in the works in terms of what all of that project's going to look like.
Right.
They have, it's so massive. It's
It
so
is,
many
it
elements
is.
to it.
Right, and the safety part.
Well,
Well, they're doing, the manhole things are about this high, and so I think they might be, today they're working over there, I left, and I didn't, the guy in front of my house didn't know he was doing something, he didn't know what they were doing, but they, so, just this safety aspect for children. I watched them walk by my house, and what's going on over here, I've been out of it? Right next door. The dumpsters and all?
Well, I don't know. That may be in the clean.
Oh, okay. And across the corner,
So they're right at the party store? Party store? Yeah, they may be cleaning out some stuff. That's what it looks like. The stuff I saw looked like construction materials, not necessarily debris from the road.
Got it. And at the corner on the other side, Joni and Jeff said that was going to be worked on this summer.
You said the other side?
That
the building,
on the corner.
bar building, still have. So that company has, they're experiencing some financial challenges. That's not to say they won't overcome that hurdle because they have some finances, I must say. But to complete that project and put it in place so we can even begin, there's some financial challenges.
And just as a community update, some of you know that there was a woman who lived in our neighborhood on Berg Road who looked a lot like me, and they would confuse us, and Mary would say, she'd say, oh, I think they think I'm Sandy, and I would think to myself, I think they think I'm Mary. Well, Mary and Mike are both in assisted care living. Mike had a brain tumor and is in declining health, and Mary's Parkinson's is very advanced, and so they are out near their son in a northern suburb. But she was much loved. They were both phenomenal human beings and anchors to our neighborhood, had lived there almost 40 years. And it's a sad thing for both of them. And yesterday I helped a friend just move things out of the house and send it to Salvation Army for Mary and I. The house has sold, and we won't know who the neighbors are. But I wanted you to know that.
Are you in touch with them still?
Oh yeah, I go see
So I'm gonna get
them.
their information. I'm gonna send them something. Call
Thank
them.
you.
All right.
They're wonderful people.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to know when 1974 Pembroke, Venda, house behind me. What did you do?
I mean, I followed up that. I know that was the one that Danielle was working on,
Yeah.
and she had pushed it forward, and some of those items that she was working on, they're now pulling back in. So that's what.
Because the weeds are taller than me. And that.
I remember, and that's what.
And I told you I have to call my son so he can watch me weed whack behind my fence so I don't have all that garbage coming in my backyard.
We'll follow up. I'll follow up on that one.
Okay, the other thing is, same thing she said. People are flying down Pembroke like they're on a raceway. And it's horrible because Starlink and Mercury came to my house yesterday to pick up my vehicle. And the girl that was there, she was shocked because the guy was going about 70 miles an hour.
Do you have any speed humps in your neighborhood?
No, illegal.
Did you guys petition or sign up for any at all? That you know of?
Yeah.
You did, and no, nothing. They are done with District 1 right now. They're going to come back around. Because again, we're doing the whole city. They're done with District 1. This is the word right now. They're going to be coming back around and doing some additional ones as funds become available. But I'm surprised. Did you? None on that one?
No. Yeah, parts of, on, west of, Lawson. Right.
So the challenge, and we talked about this before, and sometimes it feels like I'm giving all excuses, but I try to give reality, is that we can't do the whole city, and we can't do the city at one time either. So, don't know if they even went out and did a survey, but we can definitely put that location on radar and follow up with DPW and find out what the status is. If that is even a possibility at that location, maybe too close, I don't know. But we'll at least find out.
And it's not just the cars, it's the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And those
Motorized vehicles,
things.
period.
Yeah.
All motorized vehicles.
Right. And, early part of this year, the city came and patched up right in front of my house. It's horrible.
You say horrible.
Yeah.
Was it the cold patch that just put out there, or?
Yeah, and from Ventler, on Pembroke, from Ventler to, I would say Trinity, it's all.
Actually, we can put that information in there, and if you can just double back, please, before you leave, I'll give my information, all the information I need you.
All right, thank you. Oh, let me explain something to you guys. The other day, I was going down Pembroke. It was a scam. A little boy was crossing the street. 11-year-old was crossing the street, and he claimed I hit him when I turned the corner. And the guy ran over and said, "You can give us $100." I said, "You can back off my car because I'm not the one." Now, I did make a police report, and they haven't yet. Because I asked the young man, I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Did I hit you?" He said, "Well, no." He said, "It's my right leg." If I make
making a left turn and you're going west on Pembroke, how did I hit your right lane? So it's a scam. And the guy that was doing the scam had a Marquis four-door, somewhere around the 90s.
So you dropped the kid
Right.
off? You dropped the kid off?
No, he was standing by. He didn't know I noticed him. He claimed he was his cousin.
You did the right thing by reporting it. I mean,
Oh, yes.
at this point, it's not much that can be done outside of that report.
Mhm.
Police have it, you just made sure that it was known. And until now, we just heard about another scam, but we didn't pull them out either, so that helps as well.
Without beating the speed bumps to death, did you say there will be speed bumps on Berg at some point?
No, there were supposed to be some added on.
Okay.
That was actually supposed to be part of the very first streets after the pilot.
Okay, we were told that there would not be any on Berg because it's a secondary street and the fire and police and those kinds of folks didn't want them there because of emergency traffic.
That was the case with speed bumps, with speed humps.
What's the difference?
So the difference in the speed and hump, and I'm glad you asked that question.
Okay.
Because we've been doing it for so long, and it's kind of like lexicon.
Okay.
So the speed bump is what you see in a parking lot. It's raised yay high, and it's concrete.
Okay.
You can't remove that
Okay.
unless you chisel it or whatever.
Okay.
Speed hump are the temporary rubber affixements.
Like the
attachments.
one on Pembroke.
Yes, ma'am.
So those are humps.
Humps.
Okay.
Yeah. Speed humps. So City of Detroit, we do speed humps.
Okay.
If you look in parking lots, those are speed bumps.
Okay, so Berg will get humps at some point.
They were supposed to already have the humps.
Okay.
Well, like I said, they're still district.
Right.
Okay,
But that
when
was,
they're finished with those, okay.
Oh, we'll watch.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a comment I want to say about the trees. I've lived on for 47 years. We had one city tree that killed our garage, destroyed my camper, and over the years calling for help, nobody came. And finally I was out on my side street on Patton Santa Maria. I was out there and a limb fell, and a dead elm had been there 15 years. I called the forestry division, and a young man named Carlos Coronado came out. Within a day or so, I was astounded. And not only that, another man named Norm was out there looking at the trees after that, and I said, walk around the tree, don't stand there in the street and look at it, look at the back. It's a raccoon condo, it was all hollow and rotten. Now, after costing me $7,000 to fix my garage way back, it destroyed my camper, I got nothing for that. These people actually did something, and they finally came out, they sent a city crew out to do it, or a contracted crew called Jordan Tree Service. I took the elm down and they broke my neighbor's fence, but got it down. But they were cutting this tree, and I said, please don't drop it on my new driveway, which I can't afford to replace, but it was a fairly new driveway. And unfortunately, the bottom of it, I was videotaping them taking it down, and they did drop it right on the cement, smushed it. So when you're talking about sidewalks, they told me somebody would come back and fix it, and that was 2 years. Nobody has, but the sidewalk on my side street, there's a thing that comes up about a foot from tree lifting it that I've been falling on for this many years. Who would fix that? Is that the city?
it was city contract, right?
I was trying to find out because, like everybody here, I've got issues. I'd really like them to fix it.
Yep, that's the contract responsibility before you leave, please make sure you get that.
The other thing was the crosswalks on the intersection where the bus stop is. I bought papers in the last, a year ago about trying to get stop signs in it. They're still not painted. And that bus lets those kids off in front of my house after school as well as picking them up in the morning. There's a lot more kids than there were last year. But they still haven't done the crosswalks. Will I go to jail if I try to paint them?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm a medic and
I
I don't
cannot
want to have to work
authorize
on
it.
any more dying children. But they were speeding down the street while the kids were getting on and off and crossing the bus. And it's scary.
That one fell off the radar. Not sure who's working on that. Can you make sure you get that to our issues with all of these? So just so you know, we do follow up on these items. There's a lot of things that's coming. We do follow up on them. Some of them take a little longer than others. And some of them, quite honestly, and this is being true, do fall off the radar because we become a little. Please, if we do fall off, call us back. Yell at us, whatever you got to do, but that's the only way that we will be able to get back on task because we get so many. And we've got how many just in this one room, just right now? And that's not even including the phone calls and the emails. And then when Aaron and the rest of the team and Reggie go out to community, we get more issues. So we're working through them. Again, I know it sounds very apologist, but we're definitely going to be following up with each and every one of these issues and bringing the resolution that we can get. Doug had walked out.
Hey, thank you, Councilman, you and your staff for all you do. Appreciate you. I'm going to need your help again with Myers. They have not been answering our letters. We've tried to get on those far back as Motor City neighborhood. They have not responded. We've tried to get them recently to come to meetings, and we've been total stonewall.
So when you say get them, what do you need from them?
Well, we need them to participate as neighbors. I mean, like when Motor City makeover comes up, we're cleaning up Myers. That's their property. They should be out there with us. They're our neighbors, and they're just not helping us.
You're talking about along the side, the street there?
Right. Down Westbrook. I mean, even the gardens. I mean, we've had some issues with them. They have gotten better, but last year I weeded the gardens out there myself. It was so bad. And, you know, they just have not been doing any maintenance out there. And so we wanted to meet with them. We asked them to come to meetings. They won't come to them. We have a lot of customer issues.
When's the last time you reached out to them?
The last time we reached out to them was last week to try to get them to come to a meeting this week.
I was going to tell you, ironically, Edwina and I had a meeting with the management team, the new management team. Well, they've been there for about, 6 months now? And we sat down with them over the summer to talk about some of the issues that we do read next door, and we get Facebook comments, and there were a lot of complaints about the service there. They did make a case about some of the challenges they have in terms of the workforce. And it's not like they get paid a whole lot, and you have certain challenges when you are in the retail industry. But that still doesn't mean that you can just bypass, those issues. And it sounds like they have been definitely addressing them. So some of the things that I personally have seen have been changed. Now, I can't say about the burn and the cleanup piece, but we do have a contact that we can connect you with over at Mine. And I guarantee they'll be a little bit more responsive because this is what they said they're looking for when we have the meeting with them. They're looking to have more of a relationship with the community. Now, the person that you're reaching out to, not sure if that person is even still there.
Leslie Collins?
Yeah. We'll follow up. We'll find out what's going on. Because it was a totally different vibe when we were in the room. So we'll keep going.
Okay, appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's a stick. I don't know what it is.
Real quick, I had a couple of things. There's an email floating around, and Council maybe you can tell us if it's a valid email. It's about a citizen can claim vacant city-owned property, and the city will deed the property over to the individual. And it sounds like fraud to me, but
so no payment, no.
Just you find out, and the person that had asked me about it, I said, well, I saw the email.
Walk me through it again. I'm just saying. What are they saying?
The email is saying under. I was looking for it, but if there's a vacant city-owned property, it's vacant.
Yeah.
You can move into the property and repair it, bring it up to code, and the city will deed the property over.
Sounds like scam. So I don't know if you all saw last couple of years. There's this guy. This may not be connected to it, but they may have learned from this individual.
Yeah.
Around 4th of July last year, you probably saw it on the news. A lot of people came down because they were promised free houses from the city of Detroit. Free homes, free home. Well, it started in Highland Park, then it went to Oak Park, and they've been doing this for multiple years. last year really hit ahead because so many people came down to the Coleman Young Municipal Center and were just.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It sounds like that same kind of deal.
Same deal. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. 'Cause there's nothing that I'm aware of in the city that has anything remotely like that.
Okay.
There has to be some kind of exchange of something. If it's
to forward the email, I was
please.
I was looking for it.
Add double to your scam list.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't have anything like that on our.
And there's one more regarding Facebook. I had a birthday the 1st of August. I was out of town. And about 3 weeks in, my niece had got scammed for $1,000. And they just started through Messenger. And she was communicating with this individual through Messenger when they sent back a note to her. Saw your note, happy birthday and all of that, and started with a note about, but by the way, let me tell you about this program. And it was, I think, a government program. I got all the messages from her. But I contacted the FBI on it and got a hold of, because it was a Facebook. Somehow they got my Facebook and was posing to her as me. Yeah. And told her about the money deal. And by the way, my grandmother just got $100,000, and I don't think you can get that much. But if you send me $1,000, and I'll pay the other part to pay the DNSA fee or something, you'll get your check. And she was all caught up in it. And by the time she realized it, she found out, like, you should have called me on day one. Yeah. But it's a Facebook scam.
It is literally the same thing that's been going on for years. First it was on the phone. They were sending letters, then emails. Now with social media, they can reach out and touch you instantaneously and pretend that they're you.
Right.
And me. And this person sending directly. So that word to the wise. I mean, like you said, if it don't sound right, you gotta check it out. Especially before you decide to send any money. And I know someone who's very close to me, and this is someone who loves that they're now able to be on the. They weren't very internet savvy, but now that they are, they're going everywhere. I'm like, whoa, you can't go everywhere. It's some things that you got to know, and that's where I'm very familiar with those, surveys that pop up. You fill out this survey and you win this. If you hit this link, you'll get this. Or Target or Walmart will give you gift certificates if you just fill out this. All this stuff, I think is imperative that anybody check it out first. There's a website called Snopes, I think it's called. Snopes, S-N-O, I thought it was 2 O's.
No.
One O, Snopes, SNOPES.com. There's a lot of scams that are debunked on there. Check that out. SNOPES.com. Snopes.com. They've been around for years. Yeah. They've been around for years, and they do a tremendous job in terms of identifying these scams. Because folks like us will send it to them and say, hey, check this out. Once they check it out, almost like the Better Business Bureau, they then publish it. So you can even go through, I believe you can keyword it and put in the question, hey, what about this? And it'll give you some responses. And if you don't see it on there, if you send them the information, now it puts it in the pipeline so that it can potentially stop somebody else from being a victim from whatever their fraudulent request would be. Yes, sir.
Speed humps.
Speed hump. You did ask that question about individual speed humps.
Right now, we have budgeted for 400 places or locations. This is correct? Yes. Okay. Is there consensus? You just said that they're going to come around again. Is there consensus on the council to get budgeting for the next amount? Next year, next fiscal year?
No, it'll be a budget amendment, or go through the budgeting process again. So it's not for 2 years. No, just
another 2 years. Gotcha. Okay. At that, so we have 400 until that next 2 years, or you
no. What I'm saying is next year they'll come back and ask for a budget to allow the new ones to come in. Yeah.
Do you think that will be in increments of 400?
Don't know. It all depends on what they send to us.
Do we have money for it?
Yeah, we have money for it.
Okay, cool. Do you think
it's just a
there's
matter of
consensus? Do you think there's consensus for the vote
to
get it through?
To get more additional?
Right.
You know,
Is there?
There is definitely consent. I mean, when you just talk to folks in the room, everybody wants it. So
sure.
The last thing we want to do as council say no to
Right.
something that everybody wants. The challenge is identifying the cost, and we have to do our job.
Correct. Yeah.
Who's getting the contracts, all of that other good stuff, and how many are we getting for this cost? But there's definitely consensus. And we were asking for them prior to them actually being here. We were told no by the administration.
Do you have the feeling that it's working out and that you will ramp the process up, or it's going to stay the same?
When you say ramp up?
Well, there's 400 locations. I would say more locations.
It all depends on how much we can do.
Gotcha.
You know, again, it all comes down to the financial situation.
Yep.
Because they're not cheap. When we had catering, we came, I think it was like $200 a pop or something like that. Whatever that number was, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. But it all depends on how many they're looking to implement. But we have to find out from you all which is the best places that we should be implementing these. And I think everybody's going to say their street. That's why a survey has to be done in advance, and it's not just based on so-called popularity.
The other question is another safety issue having to do with mini bikes. We're coming into winter now, but it might not be as big a deal. But through this summer has been pretty rough on mini bikes, and I think the reason for that is that everyone knows that they can get away from the police by just running, and no one will come after them. I don't know if there's any way to do this, but just throwing out ideas, some type of app, that Improve Detroit app, taking pictures, taking videos, deputizing people of the city to visualize this crime or whatever's happening and try and do something. Right now, no one's stopping for the police, and we have to be able to have law and order for us to have a society.
So they did indicate, and this is, again, I can only go on what even the police chief said in a news conference. This was following an incident that took place. I think somebody got killed on a roadway on a four-wheeler. They did indicate, and this was his words, and we may even be able to pull up the article. They said that they're changing the policy where they are not necessarily going to pursue all, but there will be some enforcement of our ordinances that we have for them. Now, I know at first it was a complete blanket no pursuit, which I can't say I'm against. It was a complete blanket, no pursuit on ATVs and four-wheelers. But the chief himself said that was not going to be the case moving forward. This was, early this year, and we'll have to pull up the article for you. But that is again in the wheelhouse of the police department in terms of enforcement. I don't support chasing those things, and unless we're chasing them on a likewise type of vehicle. Part of the reason is because they're so low to the ground. And the same challenge, the same fear is for when someone's driving a vehicle. They don't have any regard for you or anybody else. So they just speed out and just keep going and just trying to escape and elude. And so when you're this low on the ground and I'm driving my vehicle, I can't see. I'm saying me, not the police. I can't see, and now I end up hitting you. And that's something I got to carry for the rest of my life. That's always a fear. And all it takes is one person to make this whole thing, people reevaluate policy. And I believe that's what happened with this individual that was killed, that made the police chief say, yeah, we can't have a complete no chase policy, but in terms of divulging what that is, it wouldn't be wise to say that either. But you did indicate that wouldn't be the case moving forward. I haven't seen anyone being stopped. And again, I think we got to make sure it's a case by case, and you just don't give the officers the free will to just chase any of them.
Well, they won't. I've talked off the record to a few, and my NPO, they're just not going to because of the PR that it could cause.
Well, NPOs don't even do that. That's
well,
not
I
their
understand.
role.
I'm just talking to the people in the neighborhood, anyone I talk to.
I guarantee I can find an officer to say yes, I will. I mean, that's the truth.
Sure.
Depending on who you talk to. But I'm just saying what the chief said. He's the one that sets the tone of the policy for the department. But when I answered part of your question.
Fair enough. I don't think there's law and order in that.
So what would you say?
What I was talking about was the what's that? Oh, sorry. I don't think there's law and order in that, and what I was saying is there's got to be a different way. We got to come up with an idea. What's the idea? There's no real idea at this moment. The idea I came up with just now off the top of my head was let's take that Detroit app, Improve Detroit, deputize everyone. Hey, this is happening right here. This is where they live. I see this. Can we get it investigated?
Well, they can do that now.
Well, I know, but it's not happening. It's not.
But that's the issue. It's not about the deputizing, right? It's not about somebody saying, "Hey, police, here's the information." The gentleman just said today, in his own home, there was an incident, and it wasn't investigated. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
The deputization.
We had that conversation before.
Yeah, that's not the challenge.
Yeah.
Just follow. So I agree with him.
Right.
Now we have to figure out how do we get that enforcement to take place, or that investigation at least to take place.
Well, that's the idea, the streamlining of it. Let's take a video. This guy's zooming down my street, and he pulls into this place right here. First idea off the top of my head. You got another idea?
That one I don't know if it solves it though.
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm saying.
We can talk to
All sorts of ideas. We got to come up with some ideas because, like I said, there was a guy on the board of Grandmont that one of these mini bikes just ran right into the side of him, and then there was a gang of people that were around him trying to pull him out of the car. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe my answer isn't the right answer, but there's got to be an answer.
So let's pose it here in the room. What do we think? Because I think this is certainly something that has come up before in the meetings. How should we as the city address these ATVs, these four-wheelers? If not the policy that was initially enacted where you don't chase, or to one where, again, we still exactly not sure, but it sounds like it's a case by case. How would the folks in the room here recommend the city address this issue? Microphone? Edwina?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, when I have an issue with the ATV or motorcycle, I'll just take a picture of it. Then sometimes I'll get in my car, depending on how fast they're going, and I will follow them and then take a picture of the license number. And then I just turn it in. That's what I do. I don't try to approach them or anything. And I'm always concerned that if there is a chase, someone else is going to be injured. It could be a kid, it could be a senior, it could be anybody. Or they may cause a bigger accident even. So I don't agree with chasing them either. But I do not feel that I can't take a picture of them and I can't take a picture of their license number and then just report it.
So when you report it, do you know there's been anything that is?
I don't know if they have the opportunity to follow it up, but at least it's on file.
Okay.
So if enough people take pictures of it and that license number keeps turning up, eventually it's going to be something done. So the only way, I don't agree with chasing them. That I don't agree with because it's so much going on out here. And I'm just not a fan of being aggressive for something unless it's where it's detriment to the community or it can injure someone. So I feel like that's the least I can do is put it on file. And then that way, if they have an opportunity to follow up, or if they get enough complaints about that same vehicle, they will follow it up. So that's what I do.
Anybody else? Any other suggestions for the city on how we should be addressing this?
I think when you talk about motor vehicles, I believe the state law says if you have a motor vehicle, you must have a license plate to operate it on streets, and some vehicles are not allowed on city streets, and those three-wheelers they're not allowed. But I think the owners and the parents need to take the responsibility. If you buy one, now I mean there's a lot of city-owned vacant property. I took my son out to Melville and let him ride his mini bike or four-wheeler in a lot there and just enjoy it. But the parents have to take the responsibility. They buy them, and the kids are not allowed to ride them on the street. The parents have to police it. Because we talk about police don't respond to things, but when you're chasing a four-wheeler and there's a attempt murder a mile away, which one has priority? You go to the attempt murder, not chasing. And so I think that the city really needs to push a lot more responsibility to parents for those issues, because they're doing it with landlords with property. And we have to bring it up to city code. So these type things are problems that the parents own, and they allow the kids to go out in the neighborhoods and ride them, and if they're not, the parents need to be charged and billed for it, and I think that's how the problem actually goes away. I don't believe the chasing is going to solve the problem. State police got charged with murder a couple of years ago for chasing one or tasing one or doing something, so that's not going to work.
The other difference is he did tasing first, and that's when everybody else tried to stop him and they couldn't.
Yeah.
And the one who did stop him was the one who tased him. So I get it.
I think you miss another point, is these police officers are risking their lives chasing these, a lot of time, young people who are riding these vehicles. I think it starts with the parenting too. They need to be responsible for their youth.
So before we go any further, I know there was a young lady in the back here who wanted to speak, and she did not get an opportunity. She's talking to Aaron. Aaron?
Yeah,
She's okay? Okay.
She's fine.
Just to piggyback on what the gentleman just said, I know the city can't regulate state policy, but can the city work with the state to make it a requirement that those vehicles be licensed? So that
they're always supposed to be licensed.
Well, how do they buy them? How do we get to a point where there's a purchase, there needs to be a license issued at that moment, or you can't take that vehicle? So that then you could at least say, hey, that was the ATV that was driving down whatever street, and it had license on it, and that's the one I saw speeding. I've also had the NPO so that they can go back and do the investigation. But if, like you said, if they don't have a license, can the city work with the state to make that possible?
No,
these vehicles?
Not under 49cc.
I didn't think so, because they're not even built for the road.
Right.
And there should be some kind of something in there, but I still don't know that it's our issue, because we change behavior, and part of it will probably punitive. Some is about trying to approach with information. All of these different things. But the chasing does pose some challenges. It does pose challenges, and not doing anything poses its challenges as well. If you look at it, how many we approach the issue, and I'm not. And how do we respond to this issue that's a safety hazard, but has created more of a nuisance than. I haven't seen many accidents that have been caused. I haven't seen fatalities. You have had one?
4 in our neighborhood. 4.
4 accidents?
4 accidents, yes.
How? Okay.
One of them, like I said, was the board member hit the side of him. That's all. I mean, that's the end of the story, I guess. Hit the side of him before, and they were trying to pull him out of the. Yeah, but there's been about 4 in our neighborhood, our area. So
you guys have a whole lot of them.
There's a lot coming around us. There's a lot of these mini bikes, and they're not maybe in Rosedale Park, a little fancy for us. No, I'm just but Grandma, we got a lot of people just cutting through because we got the straight street.
Who's talking about grandmas?
Yeah, I'm a grandma. You know,
grandma.
What's wrong with grandma?
I love grandma. That's what I'm saying. It's all the city of Detroit.
What I'm saying
put
is
us on tears.
What I'm saying is it's just coming through straight shots, going from Greenfield to Southfield to wherever, cutting out into Schoolcraft without looking. That's where the board member got hit in the side and had to lock himself in his vehicle because of it. You know, I'm not saying that this has happened prevalent. I'm not saying there's a lot of it, but that one was almost a fatality. You know, I'm just saying that when there's lawlessness, it ends up being more lawless, and it expands. So
I don't disagree with you.
yeah.
So we're gonna move on because we do have another topic. Is this something new?
Yeah.
No, but you had it right.
I did. We went around and came back
Oh,
in.
because I'm gonna talk about facial recognition before we get out of here.
Oh, okay.
All right. So what's you doing?
All right, so my new one is this post that was put out the other day from the mayor about the blight kind of caught my attention, the part where they said they was gonna begin to pay contractors to rehab these properties. Not tooting my horn or anything, but I've come from the South, I'm from Florida, so we do a lot of construction down there with residential properties. So my background allows me to be able to stay within that kind of price range. And I wanted to see if there was going to be more development as far as actually pushing that bill through to allow for contractors like me to be able to get these houses. I'm actually doing one now that was on the demo list. It's off of Bird and 7 Mile right now, Bird and Vosser. Burnt out, and I plan on doing it as an example that, yeah, it can be done. So I wanted to see if you had any information for contractors.
Can't even tell you this is brand new. It was announced in the press conference. The way this thing works, and I'll tell you this thing about it a bit. I understand why it's a political aspect of it, but it's a big announcement that is made. Big announcement. The details are in the press release, but then the other piece to it is that it has to go through council first. You ain't saying nothing. They called me, but we just had this big press conference. So then you find out this, and it's like, oh, okay. On its face, it's technology at first. It was just video, cameras. What you have to do is peel back the layers and find out what the treasurer, not treasurer, the CFO next week to go over the detail and the mayor Monday about just this issue. But
presence there as far as anybody wants.
What they're trying to pitch to the community. Okay. I'm sitting down saying, okay, I heard the press conference. That I may see it and enlighten me on stuff that I don't know either.
Sounds good.
But once we do that, there's going to be a much larger conversation about this because we're talking about bonds. About this issue beforehand. As a matter of fact, 3 of my colleagues submitted law department about the validity of what was being proposed. And they said that it was valid, but that's all we got so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question, simple. I'm at Burt. I'm in between Trinity, Losser, and 9 and 7 Mile. I heard block group EL98 email.
EL78?
EL78. Do you have a contact for them?
Yes.
Right there. That's
All
the contact.
I need to get your number.
I need to get yours.
All right.
And what do you owe me?
Actually, we're meeting October 10th.
Hold on, please. Because you want to meet the neighbors.
Second Thursday of the month, starting at 6 at the McKinney Center. Are you familiar with the McKinney Center at Burt and Pembroke? If you're at Burt and Lasser, doing some work at Burt and Lasser? Lasser. Okay. And it's just north of, yeah, McKinney Center, the school.
Okay,
Yeah, October 10th, I believe that's the second Thursday date. All right?
And speaking of Ms. Murphy, it was so funny, right? So I don't know, how many of you heard about the Penthouse Club being shut down?
Yes.
And it's been years that people been complaining about Penthouse Club. So finally, Penthouse Club was shut down. And they got to sell the things inside for 1 year. But still, that's a lot for that business. It's a lot for that entity. And remember, there was one that was shut down on 8 Mile. That had a 14-year-old girl that was inside. It was also supposed to be 1 year. It hasn't reopened.
It's a marijuana place now.
No, it's still closed. It's still closed.
Did you see the press conference? See the press conference?
Did I see the press conference?
Yeah. We had folks in this room.
Well, that's what I was leading to. So what I was saying was, what's interesting, this is what I always say about be careful about these internet folks. So there was an internet guy, because I saw the press conference, and I saw President EL. She thinks she is. She doesn't speak for us. I live in the neighborhood. Who is she? I've never heard of her before in my life. Now, this woman is at every, it's the president of the organization, but that shows social media. There are individuals who pretend they huff and puff, they know everything, but all they do is all they want to do is the word that the young folks use is troll. All they want to do is troll. They go from one place to another. Remember, if all you have to do is look at the comments after news articles. These are trolls. All they go article, you see the same names. Just mad. So just be very careful about, in addition to the scams, be very cautious about who we believe when they don't stand on fact. It's just their opinion. All right. So, anybody else before we go into the brief conversation? I look at the time that has not had an opportunity to speak yet. All right. So, we got 15 minutes. Facial recognition technology. Can we pull up what the new, or the brand new, just approved yesterday policy says? There was one article, Free Press of the News, that really broke down in bullet points. We haven't gotten that out yet, just so you know. It was just yesterday at 3 p.m. For quite some time. It was not on the agenda yesterday, and a lot of folks were upset because it was the correct. In your grown-up voice, outside voice. Let's give them the highlights.
Okay. So basically, the highlights of the facial recognition policy that was just recently approved by the Board of Police Commissioners yesterday. Software to live stream or recorded videos. The department can only use the technology analysis. Mobile facial recognition is also banned. Third, the technology is only to be used for investigations involving first-degree home invasion or Part 1 violent crimes, which are defined as robbery, sexual assault, aggravated assault, or homicide. Fourth, facial recognition is used for an investigative and a supervisor in the crime intelligence unit. Any misuse of the facial recognition software will be investigated, and any resulting misconduct will result from the crime intelligence unit with the number of facial recognition requests fulfilled.
So that's where that is the policy that was approved just yesterday. What's your thoughts on that particular policy? Does it change anyone?
Someone expressed concern to me that if he were charged based on that, and later proved it wasn't him. $5,000, they don't know you. Is there any way to remedy that for someone that's unjustly?
I would assume it would be the same as it currently is now. If there's a visual, ID and identification for a particular individual, I don't think there's any difference. But I can't tell you that that's the case. There's nothing that was written in the policy that we've seen thus far. Again, just yesterday, but that's interesting. So, are you saying you prefer something stronger than what we currently have now?
No, the young man, we were discussing it because he was charged with something he didn't do. I guess the judge threw out first time, but anyways, he had another $5,000. This was someone who didn't have a nickel to his name. And like he said, someone raised that before, what does a poor person do? And I mean, due respect to lawyers, some like remedy someone if they had to spend all that money and then were proven they didn't do it. Is there anything to remedy that?
Currently, that I'm aware of, from the city standpoint, there's always the ability to sue the entity that charged you unjustly. Court that says we have to do it, there's nothing that the city of Detroit has.
Because all of these new technological innovations haven't proved to do anything that old-fashioned policing couldn't take care of. All the things we've talked about today, we need police presence for speeding, for mini bikes, for break-ins and everything else. And this technology costs millions, and I really believe we can hire some human beings to have old-fashioned policing. I've been in Detroit my entire life, and we were young and stupid back in the day, but we were always watched because we got something called littering tickets because there were always police watching it. And that's what changes behavior when there's some consequences. But this technology to me is scary because I just read too much about what kinds of mistakes are made with it. And it gets us into a police state with someone sitting at a board watching all of us, but they're watching us, but no one's protecting us.
But I just want to make sure we're clear. That's not what this technology does.
I understand.
But that's what we want to talk about.
Okay, but
no.
Go ahead.
So I'm saying we've got to look at what's in front of us. But what's in front of us, we just said that you cannot use it use it mobily, so it has to go through a team of individuals. It has to be signed off by a supervisor, so there's a name attached to this if it's used incorrectly. So no one goes, well, no, I don't know how it happened. So there's levels of accountability that we, as the community and the Board of Police Commissioners, are now saying is in place that wasn't in place before. The same thing can happen, and I always say this, from an eyewitness. So if you have, let's say, facial recognition technology, how is that different than utilizing the facial recognition technology? Because remember, we're not doing surveillance. It's based upon photos that are put into a system saying, hey, this looks like the person, not sure. Same thing they do with photos they have now. They're giving photos to folks and say, hey, does this look like the person? Does this look like the person? Does this look like the person? People are right and people are wrong. How does it make it different?
Because you talk about the levels of accountability.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then who checks that?
It's the same system that is currently in place now.
And it ain't working. That's all.
Okay.
I just don't trust it. But
And that's a big issue.
It could turn out to be very, very, very good. But it really has to be monitored. That's all I'm saying.
I totally agree.
Serious monitoring.
And I just want to say, I'm not pushing this way or that way, but I just want to be fair. I just want to make sure that we keep our mind open to not just the civil liberties issue, but also how do we deal with this issue of crime. I know people say all the time that we should be spending the money on officers. The money that we're spending on this camera system, it will help with officers, but we have to maintain. So that dollar amount that we would drop in, we have to have that budgeted for every year. So it allows for additional, I don't say eyes out there, but additional tools that we can use for investigations. There are victims who are waiting for some justice that are out there, who don't care about any of your complaints. And there's some people who have been who've been the victim of misjustice, and they don't care about anybody's complaints. They want to make sure that whatever happened to them doesn't happen to anybody else. So I just want us to have a clean conversation about what we're really dealing with, and not just the hyperbole that has even been pushed to me on both sides of this particular issue. I forget them. Just save the victim and the family, get justice. I forget that. We just need to make sure that we have our civil rights intact. Somewhere, I believe, in between is where the answer is, because we can't just do nothing. And I don't think we go all the way in the option. We're going to come over to you, Ms. Flower. That's what we're going to come over here. That's why.
So what Councilman Tate said about an eyewitness testimony, facial recognition versus the technology, it's about the same, because you have just as many people being charged in error from eyewitnesses. And was there anyone here that took the tour that District 1 and the neighborhood District 1 manager had available to tour the crime center to show how the facial recognition was done? It wasn't just the facial recognition that was used to identify a suspect. There were 2 or 3 other avenues, and not just one person was involved in identifying that person. So I don't know if that's changed.
No, that's still there.
Okay. So I agree with you regarding the eyewitness piece.
Let's give him this.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on that because you did give us a chance, and the day you took a poll on how many people was interested in going down, if they would get there, we could go and check it out. And I went, and Miss Menifee went, but we didn't go at the same time. I was surprised that I was have a different idea about it after I went, and the process that they put. Okay, people gonna get confused, this one or that one. And they have a person that sits there at that computer and go through as many pictures as they need to check that person out. And they have
because if you try to tell a grieving mother up, and if you try to give her but if you can give her closure, but I think that we have cameras. What is the difference from the surveillance cameras we have on our mailboxes and in our home, where we can present to the police department when there's a crime in our area? Or
the difference is one is government and one is private citizen. I don't say mistrust, but people. That's the word?
Yeah.
Okay. Intruding in their personal lives. I get it. all you have to do is look at history and see how government has treated people horribly. Before we move forward with this, I always say, let's peel back the layers, peel back the layers. And what we have, I say, what we have now before us is way different than what was being pushed in the beginning. Before, again, like in China and in London, where they have these live cameras that have facial recognition technology where they can spot you and track you and do. That's not what this does. So now, because that's scary to me, that's really scary. You may not be doing anything illegal, but I don't need you following me, government. It's my business.
Okay, so the shooting that happened in Greektown, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Police Chief Craig said that the facial recognition technology helped identify those individuals, and it was right on point. So is that?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, so
that helped get some of those off the street. So, like I said, it's pros and cons, and if it's gonna make us safer, if it's gonna help identify certain individuals, and it's not going to wrongfully get someone wrongfully convicted, I'm for it, because we have a lot going on, and people nowadays, they don't want to talk. I mean, you out here now and you try to videotape some crime, you liable to get shot videotaping it. So if this is going to help people, which I'm not really clear on how they're going to do this, because if I'm an eyewitness and I witness something, and I'm going to be scared to go to the police, because if my life is threatened for me not to show up in court, who's to say you're going to protect me? My mother, my father, my kids, my sisters and brothers, these people are crazy out here now, and they have means of getting your information to come to aggressively scare you from testifying. So what will be the difference? Will they be able to use the facial recognition technology and delete the individual from coming to the courtroom to identify the victim, or?
So what the facial recognition technology does is you get let's say you got a screenshot of an individual who had committed a crime. So again, this is not live surveillance, so you're not seeing the camera following the person.
Right.
But it's a snapshot of that camera that possibly was filming at that time, right? So you get a snapshot of, oh, that's the photo that we want. So right now, without the facial recognition technology, without the technology, and use the eyeball test. Thousands, hundreds of photos. Going through them. Is it a match? Is it a match? What the facial recognition technology does is it allows the computer, the artificial intelligence system, to do the eyeball test. What happens is it comes up with a certain number of matches, right? Or potential matches. 1, 2, 3, 4. One individual who looks at it, or one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, and that doesn't look anything like him. I don't know why this came back. They throw it right out. Again, this is according to the conversations I've had with the police chief himself. That's how he described it. So then now you're down to 3 photos. Same thing, and keep going. And so maybe these three might be pretty close. So then you start doing the rest of the investigation like you do any other investigation. Find out, okay, does this person live in the city of Detroit? Is this person incarcerated right now? This photo that pinged us back for the number 2 picture that came back, this person was incarcerated, so they couldn't do it. All right, throw it right out. So now it leaves you with 2. So the investigation recognition technology does is it provides a tool that allows this speeding up the process of the photos being reviewed.
Okay, because I wanted to know what the statistics was about the inaccuracy on the technology. Have there been any studies showing that this has been inaccurate in certain cases?
Yes.
What is
yes. So I don't know about the system that we have in terms of the accuracy that we and we're requesting. there's always an accuracy issue. To arrest, and that was not what it says in the policy that was approved yesterday by the Board of Police Commissioners. If they were to just arrest someone based upon those 1, 2, 3, 4 matches, that is a violation of policy. You can't do that. It has to go through the system of people and authorization. Just approved yesterday. Maybe there was something that was changed in the conversation that I had with the chief.
Was it
No,
not?
this is the Board of Police Commissioners. So that's why I was Board of Police Commissioners. They have the authority.
Okay.
They have the civilian department, but the civilian oversight was installed. I think it was 1974. That's when the Board of Police Commissioners was put in place. So they are the ones who actually approve that policy. What we have now is the ability to say, based on this policy, if we want to release the funds. Any other thoughts? All right. So, next time we talk, I want us to talk about this election that's coming up. And I know it's way in 2020. And that's right around the corner. And we got to figure out, how do we, as the city of Detroit, become a player, or even state of Michigan, however we want to say it, in this? How do we unify ourselves enough to figure out who is the best candidate, whether this side or that side, for us? How do we do that? How do what do we get out of this? How do we push the campus? How do we become a player in this thing? How do we become a player even in Michigan? Who's talking about Detroit? I don't know. But that's where I want us as a community to start having that conversation. November next year, we got to start talking about how do we get more people involved and engaged. And a lot of those people that we're talking about are some of our younger folks. And then some of our older folks who say, you know what, I've done my part. It's time for the next generation. I've heard that too. That's what we have to start doing as a community. So like I said before, it's not just about me, it's about us. How do we move our community, our city, our district, our state? How do we move forward? All right, so the next meeting we have coming up is the 28th. Aaron Hall.
Hello everyone, I was actually about to talk about that one. So if you did not grab a sheet of paper to save the date for our District 1 monthly meeting coming up on September 28th at 10 a.m., we'll be hosting at the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated headquarters located on 7 Mile near Telegraph. A lot of interesting topics coming on. Obviously, my favorite, the Business Spotlight, we're featuring a mental health themed business. We have a Clear Interventions Counseling Service. Some of you might know that place over there. We also have a conversation with DDOT and their efforts to provide new bus shelters for riders. I know that's been brought up in this meeting before as well. So please join us 10 a.m. On the 28th at the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Alumni Chapter. Alumni. Yeah, I was getting that. That's how I was Alumni chapter, Detroit chapter. Again, that address is 24760 West 7 Mile Road. We begin at 10 a.m. We hope to have you there. Thank you.
And we're also going to have an update on the Grand River streetscape issue as well, because there have been some questions. One of the big questions is, are they going to finish in time? That's a big question because we started a little bit late. So we're going to have folks from DPW as well as Detroit Water and Sewage Department. We're trying to get someone from MDOT. And being real crazy with the schedule, but we're trying to get someone from MDOT as well there. But we should have the answers to the questions that you're looking for. So I just thank you all for coming out again. And we appreciate it. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Or next week.
Better on time next time.
Cool. You still get paid, though. That's all. It is.
But if
All right, let's try to take the camera part.
So no, you're doing the right thing. So if you don't have a relationship with I'm busting. So is it in the alley? So it's actually on their property. That may be what you what we gotta do is
That's what the council was.